Have you ever wondered why some people seem to learn anything so quickly, while others take weeks, months, or even years to catch up? It feels frustrating, doesn't it? Watching others master new skills, excel in their careers, or adapt to new challenges while you're stuck trying to figure out where to even start. But what if I told you that learning faster isn't about being born smarter? It's about learning smarter. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how you can learn faster than 99% of people in 2025. And no, it's not just about working harder. It's about using strategies that actually work, strategies that most people don't even think about. All right, let's get into it. The common myth about learning. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a student named Sarah. She wasn't the smartest in her class, not by a long shot. Her classmates would always score higher than her in exams, and she constantly felt like she was falling behind. But one day, Sarah decided to stop trying to just work harder. Instead, she started looking at how she was learning. Fast forward a few months, and suddenly Sarah was the one everyone was asking for help. Her grades skyrocketed, and her teachers couldn't believe her progress. So, what changed? Sarah didn't magically become smarter. She simply realized something most people don't. The way you learn is just as important as what you're learning. And that's the first thing we need to understand. Most people think learning is all about cramming, repetition, or doing more. But the truth is, none of that matters if your approach is wrong. Why traditional learning fails. Think about how most of us were taught in school. Lectures, memorization, endless notes. It's the same old system that's been around for decades. But here's the problem. The world in 2025 doesn't work that way anymore. Information is everywhere. Technology evolves every second. What worked 20 years ago doesn't cut it now. Here's an example. Imagine you're trying to learn a new language. Most people would grab a textbook, repeat phrases, and hope it sticks. But have you ever noticed how kids learn languages? They don't sit down and memorize grammar rules. They listen. They imitate. They experiment. The point is that traditional methods don't tap into how our brains work, and that's why so many people struggle to learn quickly. They're using outdated tools for a modern problem. The science of learning faster. All right, this is where things get exciting. Let's talk about how you can learn faster. The first thing you need to know is this. Your brain loves efficiency. It's designed to find shortcuts and save energy wherever it can. So, when you use the right techniques, your brain adapts and learns faster than you ever thought possible. Here are 3 science-backed strategies that work. 1. Spaced repetition. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to forget something you just learned? That's because your brain naturally filters out information it doesn't think is important. Spaced repetition fixes this. Instead of cramming everything in one go, you review the material at increasing intervals. Once today, again in 3 days, and then a week later. This helps lock the information into your long-term memory. Sarah, the student we talked about earlier, this was one of the first techniques she used. Instead of rereading her notes the night before a test, she spaced out her review sessions over time. 2. Active recall. Here's a question. Would you rather read the same page of a book 5 times or close the book and try to explain what you just read? Most people choose the first option because it feels easier. But the second option, the harder one, is what works. That's called active recall. It forces your brain to retrieve information, which strengthens your memory. 3. The power of curiosity. Think about the last time you were curious about something. Maybe it was a random question that popped into your head like, why do we yawn? And you couldn't rest until you Googled it. When you're curious, your brain releases dopamine. It's like a reward system that makes learning feel fun. So instead of forcing yourself to learn something boring, find a way to make it interesting. Ask questions. Turn it into a game. The hidden factor. Everyone ignores. Here's the thing no one talks about when it comes to learning faster: your environment. Imagine trying to study in a noisy room with constant distractions. or trying to focus when you're sleep-deprived and running on caffeine. It doesn't matter how good your techniques are. If your environment is working against you, you're setting yourself up to fail. So here's what you need to do. Limit distractions. Turn off notifications. Put your phone on silent. Set a routine. Your brain loves patterns. If you study or practice at the same time every day, it becomes easier to focus. Prioritize rest. Sleep isn't just for recovery. It's when your brain processes and stores information. Learning in the age of AI. Let's talk about 2025 specifically. We're living in a time when technology is evolving faster than ever. AI tools, virtual reality, and online courses. They're all changing the way we learn. And if you're not using these tools, you're missing out. For example, AI-powered apps can personalize your learning experience. They track your progress, identify your weaknesses, and adapt the material to suit your needs. But here's the catch. Tools are just tools. They won't work unless you do. So, use them wisely. Don't rely on them to do the work for you. Use them to amplify your efforts. Build consistency, not perfection. This is probably the most important point of all. Learning faster isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. Most people quit too early because they think they're not good enough. But the truth is, that speed comes from consistency. Think of it like building a muscle. You don't get stronger by going to the gym once and lifting the heaviest weight. You get stronger by showing up every day, even if you're just lifting a little. The choice is yours. Here's the bottom line. Learning faster isn't some magical skill that only a few people have. It's something anyone can do, as long as they're willing to put in the effort and use the right strategies. So now the question is, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to keep learning the same way you always have? Or are you going to take these strategies and start applying them today? If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And remember, learning faster isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday.